never saw or communicated with her husband again.
And that sentence of penal servitude, she's now working out of her head at the bottom of that stream.
Yes, but when I banished her, I gave her all the pleasant places of the earth to dwell in. I don't understand why she decided to live at the bottom of that stream. It makes me perfectly wretched to think of the discomfort she must have undergone.
Think of the tap. And her chest was always so delicate.
And the frogs. Like me, I will never understand why Iolanthe went to live among the frogs.
Then why not summon her and ask her?
Why? Because I would forgive her at once.
Then why not forgive her? 25 years. It's a long time. Think of how you loved her.
Loved her? And what was your love to mine? Why, she was invaluable to me. Who taught me to nestle inside a buttercup? Iolanthe. Who taught me to swing upon a cobweb? Iolanthe. Who taught me to dive in a dewdrop, to nestle in a nutshell, to gamble on gossamer? Iolanthe.
She certainly did do surprising things. Forgive her that to the throat for you, for your sake, if not for ours.
Oh, well, I must be strong, and yet I'm weak. I am marble, and yet I am clay. Her punishment has been a little more harsh than I intended. I didn't mean for her to live at the bottom of that stream. And, well, oh, it shall be as you wish. It shall be as you wish.
Come
Nothing easier, for here he comes.
Good morrow, good mother. Good mother, good morrow. Bless on me forever. Pray banish your sorrow. With joy beyond telling, my bosom is swelling. So join in the measure, expressing of pleasure. For I'm to be married today, today. Yes, I'm to be married today.
Yes, he's to be married today, today. Yes, he's to be married today.
Not he indeed. To all my tearful prayers he answered me, a shepherd lad is no fit helpmate for a ward of chancery. I stood in court, and there I sang him songs of Arcady, with flageolet accompaniment. In vain. At first he seemed amused, so did the bar, but quickly wearying of my pipe and song, bade me get out. A servile usher then, in rusty bands and crumpled bombazine, led me, still singing, into Chancery Lane. I'll go no more. I'll marry her today and brave the upshot, be it what it may.
But please, rejoice with me. My queen has pardoned me.
Pardoned you? Oh, mother, this is good news indeed.
And these are my sisters.
Your sisters? Then they are my aunts.
A happy piece of news for your bride on your wedding day.
Hush! My bride knows nothing of my fairyhood. I dare not tell her lest it frighten her. That's concerned.
Why, your fairyhood certainly hasn't done you much good.
grass plot. Don't tell me it was the sparrows. Why did 5 and 20 Conservative kids come down to fish your pond? Don't tell me it was the goldfish. No, no. Delays are dangerous. And if we've been married, the sooner the better.
None shall part us from each other, born in life and death are we.
And now, my lords, to the business of the day.
By all means. Phyllis, who is a ward of court, has so powerfully affected your lordships that you have appealed to me as a body to give her in marriage to whichever one of you she may think proper to select, and that a noble lord has just gone to her cottage to request her immediate attendance. It would be idle to deny that I have the misfortune to be singularly attracted by this person. My regard for her is rapidly undermining my constitution. 3 months ago, I was a stout man. I need say no more. If I could reconcile it with my duty, I would unhesitatingly award her to myself, for I can say that I know no man so fit to render her exceptionally happy. But such an award would be open to misconstruction, and therefore, at whatever personal inconvenience, I waive my claim.
My lord, I desire, on the part of this house, to express a sincere sympathy for your lordship's most painful position.
I thank your lordships. The feelings of a Lord Chancellor who are in love with a ward of court are not to be envied. What is his position? Can he consent to his own marriage with his own ward? And if he marries his own ward without his own consent, can he commit himself for contempt of his own court? And if he commits himself for contempt of his own court, can he appear by counsel before himself to move for arrest of his own judgment? Ah, my lords, it is indeed painful to have to sit upon a woolsack stuffed with such thorns as these.
My lords, I have much pleasure in announcing that I have succeeded. That I have succeeded in inducing this young person to present herself at the bar of this house.
trials, hearts just as pure and fair, may meet in the free square, as in the lonely air of 7 dials. Blow, never bound to serve us now, not taking from the flood of blood, of water they don't bound to serve us now, not taking from the flood of blood, of blood.
My lords, it may not be, with grief my heart is ridden. You waste your time on me, for my heart is given.
To break my displeasure, and thus defy our definite command.
Young Strephon, mine this priceless treasure. Against the world, I claim my darling's hand. A shepherd king, of Arcady, betrothed are we, and mean to be espoused today. A shepherd king of Arcady, a shepherd king of Arcady, betrothed are we, and mean to be espoused today. Neath his brow as the snap of dagger, going home and turn his dagger. Neath his heart, proud of winning, rest in heart, dignified escaping, rest in heart, dignified escaping, dignified escaping, dignified escaping, dignified escaping, dignified escaping, dignified escaping.
And now, sir, what excuse have you to offer for having disobeyed an order of the Court of Chancery?
My lord, I know no laws of chancery. I go by nature's acts of parliament. The bees, the breeze, the seas, the brooks, the gales, the vales, the fountains and the mountains cry out, you loveless maiden, take her, we command you. 'Tis writ in heaven by the bright barbed dart that leaps forth lurid light from each grim thunder cloud. When chorus nature bids me take my love, and I to To be taken from me just as I was at the point of making you my own. It's too much. It's too much.
My son, in tears, and on his wedding day.
My wedding day. Oh, mother, weep with me, for the law has interposed, and the Lord Chancellor has separated us forever.
The Lord Chancellor. If you did but know.
If I did but know what?
No matter. The Lord Chancellor has no power over you. Remember, you can defy him. Down to the waist.
Yes, but what's the use of my body being free if my legs are carrying out 7 years' penal servitude?
True. But take heart. Our Queen has promised you her special protection. I'll go to her and plead your peculiar case before her.
Oh, mother, how can I ever repay the debt I owe you? When dark even's the day, and dawn is dull and grey, to chase me away on the moor.
What was that?
I think I heard you say that on a rainy day, to while the time away I heard you call.
We think we heard you say that on a rainy day, to while the time away on her we call.
What was that?
I heard the minx remark she'd meet him after dark inside St. James's Park and give him one. Heard the minx remark she'd meet him after dark inside St. James's Park and give him one. The prospect was so bad, my heart so sore and sad. Make very soon you be glad as summer's sun. Oh, when the sky is dark and tempests wreck my bark, if I should see the Lord should give you one, give you one, give you This lady is what? She said 20. Well, if I ever heard, this is much the most absurd, for she's 17 and he's 5 and 20.
She's 17 and he's only 5 and 20. Oh, fine, it's happy as a road.
Now listen to me, for this paradox with me can be nobody who Giannicente. Her age upon the date of his birth is minus 6, she is 17, he is 5 and 20.
She is 17 and he's only 5 and 20. To say she is his mother is an utter bit of folly. Oh, fine, it's happy as a road. And that's his very town, and he's very melancholy. Taradiddle, toddle long day. I wouldn't say a word that could be recognized as Jewish, but to find another younger than his son is very curious. And thus to find a mother that is usually mysterious. Taradiddle, toddle long way.
Go away, madam, I should say, madam, slay, madam, shocking taste. It is rude, madam, to intrude, madam, with your rude, madam, recent face. Here, madam, you're aware, madam, what you dare, madam, to take care, madam, of equal.
Let us stay, madam, as you say, madam, let us pay, madam, shocking taste. It is rude, madam, to intrude, madam, to your rude, madam, recent face. You're away, madam, what you dare, madam, what you dare, madam, this is done. They will stare, madam, when aware, madam, what they dare, madam, what they done.
By these puny mortals, I will launch from fairy portals all the most horrific thunders in my armory of wonders. It's highly necessary, your tongue to teach respectful speech, your attitudes to vary, your wagging are so wary, your manner arbitrary, are out of place when face to face with an influential fairy.
We never knew we were talking to an influential fairy.
A plague of this Gary, I'm in a nice one berry. What is he to give dates unknown? I ought to be more chary. It seems that she's a fairy from Anderson's library. But I took her for the proprietor of this seminar.
Oh! We took her for the proprietor of a lady's seminary.
Every bill and every measure that may gratify his pleasure, though your furious rouses, shall be passed by both your houses. You shall sit if he sees reason through the wine and cheese board season. He shall end those cherished rights you enjoy on meeting nights. He shall break that annual bliss of marriage with deceased wife's sister or titles shall annul then all the common council bears. Peers shall teem in Christendom, and the Duke's exalted station be attainable by competitive examination.
Thank you.